you don't, like, every fucking ally that is just here right now, you're like, nah, get the fuck off me, don't tell me any of this shit you're trying to do, fuck you, Akabareji, you can go suck a dick, you ain't doing no shit to Reira. Like, he is so, like, out of all the main characters that we've had in, like, the entire series, I like to think that Yuya is probably the more emotional out of all the cast that we've been having, because in this episode, clearly, and we've seen, you know, him he just don't give a shit. He'll say what's on his mind. Is like, when he sees, like, a poor little Reira just run to him, and he's like, he's the one that's supposed to be in the next match. And you think of that, he's a child, and they want him to go on, like, you know, on some fucking fast-ass motorbike with some action cars, and he's the youngest out of the group, and he's terrified. Like, you don't want to do some of that shit. Although we do find out later throughout the episode, it's not kind of that, and it's also the fear of, like, being rejected by his brother as well, and, like, we'll get more into that about his actual brother and his origins. But for the most part, it was, like, pretty much, like, it was kind of Reira just kind of running out, kind of, like, starting to build his own emotions in the series. And we see, like, when it came to, like, Reiji, like, actually coming out saying, you know, you're not going to do this, and it turns out his main reason for not even wanting to go is because, oh, that guy was very kind to you, and we find out that pretty much you go into labor. If you actually lose the match, you're going to be fucked up, you don't belong here. So that's pretty much what Gongen Zaka's pretty much doing. And it's like, so even still, it's like, you know, he's like, you're there, like, you're going to send your, like, fucking own, like, brother out there, and he's just like, no, the reason I chose him was to be strong. And it's like fucking Reiji's kind of admitting it. He's just like, you know, I chose him because he's strong, and I also as well chose him because, you know, I ordered him to. Like, so there's still a lot of mystery surrounding the character, but it shows that he does care. It seems like the Reira, from what we've seen of it, like, he does, yeah, like, he is, like, holding his hand, he wants him to grow as a duelist, but I think also the way he does want him to, grow up as a person, because when we also find out, which is the big reveal in this episode, they're not even related, they're not even brothers at all. From what we found out is that he was actually taken from some war-torn country in the series, which is very interesting, because I really think there really never was war in the entire series, and they took him, and he pretty much built up, because he was so used to, like, he didn't have parents, he had friends, and he pretty much built this kind of mental block inside of him to become, like, he has no personality, he has nothing in him, he's just plain nothing, and he would just do whatever he's told to. He's a puppet, as like Reiji's mother describes it as, and she was even Reiji's like, yeah, like, she'll be really disappointed finds out this guy's having had emotions now, because that's what she pretty much used him as, just this warrior. Like, he just wants to use him as, like, it's just this puppet that they can just get anything to do with, and it's like, but now he's starting to get emotions, and he's starting to realize that Yuya and everyone else treat him like a normal human being, while for most of his life he's been treated as just this mindless puppet ever since he's gotten there. So very interesting, like, thing to find out about this episode. And I feel like Jared, I think he does care. It's just that his way of thinking things, and like his ways, he's probably being raised by his family, he thinks of things differently. Like, he's saying, like, I need to do this if I'm gonna, like, he's thinking about the bigger goal than he is about, like, oh, the little steps between. Like, he's thinking, like, I need to do this to save the world. If that means fucking up a few people, then that's how it is. And in the end, it just kind of got replaced to Shichikage. He's the one now that's going to be dueling from his place by balls and bullshit. And we probably will see Reira duel. I'm kind of curious to how that's going to go and who is really going to be dueling. But next match is, like, I don't know how to feel about next match, because it's like, one is Crow's friend, and one is, like, one of the ninjas that was just left over. So I'm kind of curious more about his deck and, like, more ahead, because we only saw a little bit of him, and he got fucking, like, one of them got annihilated. Like, so I'm kind of curious to see, like, how he's going to do on, because it seems like their deck is made for, like, dueling, so maybe he might combine his brother's deck, and, you know, I'd like to see a little bit more of him, but honestly, it just feels like he's a henchman, and it's just like, oh, I'm just doing whatever, like, Reiji tells me to. I'm kind of more curious about the next episode after that, more than I am this one. It was nice. It had a big reveal. I was kind of shocked about that they weren't actually brothers. I knew there was some shit going between them with their family, but other than that, I enjoyed this episode. I'd give this one, like, 6.5 to a 7. I think, like, a 7 more just because of the reveal was very well done. I really enjoyed it. But progress in this one, and plus as well, the art was a lot better in this episode. I know, so especially when we saw, like, Yuya's face all detailed, and, like, they put a lot of animation into it, and I thought this was a better, well done episode than some of the previous ones that we've been having. But yeah, good episode of Dark Beat. But that's all from me. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.